Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing to you the semi-finals of the PIC Monotype Tournament Draft League thing. Yes indeed, yeah, we're in the semi-finals. It's very exciting times. I was looking forward to this game. We put it off for a while because we both, myself and my opponent, had our own personal things going on that we needed to take care of, but we managed to get around to doing this battle. My opponent is none other than Togevoir, Sir Toge. His team is the Arizona Carvanhas, and he is the flying type guy. Links will be down in the description to Togevoir. Do make sure you check him out. He's got some great stuff on his channel. He does a lot of organisational stuff for various competitions that go on. He's a great guy, so make sure you check him out. Now, the flying type team. Toge could pick from the following mons. He's got I need to say Togevoir, which he didn't draft himself. He's got Mega-Gyarados, Skarmory, Tornadus Therian, Gliscor, Dragonite, Togekiss, Staraptor, Thundurus Therian, Yanmega, and the Zapdos. Now, yeah, I nearly said Togevoir because he has the Togekiss. He was allowed to draft Mega-Gyarados because, of course, when he Megas up, he's not a flying type anymore, but he started as a flying type, so he could take Mega-Gyarados, which was a nice drafting decision on his part. It allows him to basically get a mon that isn't a flying type at all, which is very cool. We like that, that's not bad. Now, he's got a few immunities to electric, which is one of the big weaknesses of his team. A few things that can take rock neutrally, and a couple of things that can take ice neutrally. So he's built as well as he can around what's a fairly strong typing for dual types, you know, the flying type. Now, in order to best take on his team, here's what I brought very briefly. We have got Choice Scarfed Heliolisk with enough speed to outpace pretty much everything non-scarfed on his team. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power, Ice, and Hyper Voice. You're going to notice a real theme around the moves I have on my team. P2 is back once again. It's physically defensive. It's got Analytic, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Recover, and Thunder Wave, because his team's fairly quick. We've got Kecleon here with Max HP, Max Attack, Adamant, Stealth Rock, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and Sucker Punch. Just for that priority, Stealth Rock's going to be very important against his team. He's got plenty of options for defog, but I want to try and keep the Rock's pressure up if I can. We have got Diggersby. This is another agility set with enough speed to outpace everything scarfed at +2. Adamant Nature, Return, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, and Agility. We've got Choice Scarfed Staraptor. This is an interesting one. I didn't particularly want hazards on my side of the field. He's got a Gliscor who can set up rocks. Really, in theory, I probably didn't need to bring... Actually, he's got Skarmory, that's why. I didn't want him setting up too many hazards, why I thought that's well, Skarmory. So we've got Scarfed Intimidate Staraptor, because you have to have Intimidate with Defog. So along with Defog, I've got Double Edge, U-Turn, and Quick Attack. Don't really need the flying type stab. I'm better off with Double Edge, I think. And then we have Mega-Audino. This is physically defensive. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Calm Mind, and Wish. So a lot of Bolt Beam coverage going on here. That's what wins me the game. I do have that in terms of matchup. He doesn't have too much in terms of fighting type offense against me. But he does have more speed, straight off the bat at least. And he has better hazard options and removal. So, looking at the team he decided to bring, we've got the Tornadus Therian, Skarmory, Thundurus Therian, Yanmega, the Dragonite, and Mega-Gyarados. I was surprised to see Gliscor. I thought he might want to bring that. I thought the Zapdos would be coming as well, but I knew he wouldn't be bringing the Togekiss. Yeah, so you know, I still think I've got this one. I hoped I did anyway, you know. Heliolisk I figured was going to be a big player for me. If I can get the bunny set up once again with the agility, he's going to be a big player for me as well. I need to keep rocks up when I can. It breaks multi-scale on the Dragonite, it breaks any potential sash on the Yanmega, and it helps to keep up against Sturdy on the Skarmory, and it also negates the Regenerator that he can get on his Tornadus Therian. So, without further ado, let's get right into the battle and see exactly how things played out. So, going to be leading off with my Mega-Audino this time, wanting to get my Mega up as soon as possible, as he goes with the Tornadus Therian. This is fine, I don't fear this thing too much, so I am going to Mega up and just start attacking straight off the bat. he's obviously going to outspeed, and he drops a Toxic on me, which is an interesting choice. As I just go for an Ice Beam. I guess he wanted that for my usual lead of P2, which is another reason I didn't go with it. So, he's going to get some leftovers back, so he's not Assault Vest at the very least. And here he's going to make a nice play, go for Taunt. Clearly built again for my P2 lead. So unfortunately I can't use Wish here. But that's okay, I still have Bolt Beam to go with, and that's going to be my play. I'm going to try and switch it up here though, as he goes for a Focus Blast, which does laughable damage from a crit, no less. I am going to go for the Thunderbolt right about now, and that's going to take him down below half. And here, I figured he'd probably want to switch out, not wanting to take a Thunderbolt. I hoped he might want to go into his Gyarados here, to try and help set up predicting an Ice Beam, which is what I went for. He U-turns, but rather scarily, he's going to go into the Dragonite, and I thought, fantastic, I'm going to go for Ice Beam and absolutely nail this thing. But he has the multi-scale, and there's the weakness policy, which is super spooky. Now I'm like, I don't want to take a hit from this guy. That's not happening at all. I'm just going to pick Ice Beam and see what he does. He's going to go for the Extreme Speed, implying he probably only has Dragon Coverage and Roost. And that's fine. What it means is that I can now go into my physically defensive P2. I think I can take one hit. He goes for the Dragon Claw, and P2 just eats it. And I go for an Ice Beam and take him out. Now, he said he didn't have any attack investment. That's still a +2 Dragonite stab Dragon Claw, and P2 just ate it. Completely ate it. Now in comes Tornado's Therian. I don't want to take a Focus Blast or a Toxic, so I'm going to switch the hell on out of Dodge. And I'm going to go into my Staraptor here. Get the Intimidate, because I know I can pretty much take any hit. He does miss a Toxic, which is very unfortunate, so I'm not on a timer, and I'm just going to click Double Edge here. I'm not reckless, but it still should do a decent amount. So I go for Double Edge, and it does 60%, which is nice, very nice indeed. And Toge here is going to miss a Focus Blast, so we get very lucky here, which is nice. If you've seen the video that went up maybe yesterday or a couple of days ago, you'll know I quite need some luck. So he's going to switch out here. I know the switch into Skarmory is coming, but I am just going to click Double Edge anyway, because it will, as I say, break the Sturdy. And do, 21%, that isn't bad. And I'm going to try and save Staraptor for later. What I'm going to do, this seems to be as good an opportunity as ever to try and get up my rocks with Kecleon. So, I'm going to go into said Kecleon, as Skarm's just going to go for the rocks of his own. Now this is fine, I'm okay with this. Here he goes for Brave Bird, does a clean 50%, but it's not a 2-hit KO because I have leftovers. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my rocks up, turn into Protean, and now, unless he's got Iron Head, he's definitely not taking me out with that Brave Bird. So this is fine, I've got my rocks up, he's got his. He's going to go for the Defog here, he doesn't want rocks on his side. I'm going to use this opportunity to go for a nice, powerful Thunder Punch, and as you can see, he has a Wackenberry. This is great that I've broken it, because now Heliolisk doesn't have too much to fear. So what's going to happen here is a little bit more of an exchange, as we both try and get our rocks up and he tries to get back to health. He's going to go for Roost here, knowing that he can then tank a Thunder Punch, but I'm going to get my rocks up, which is grand. Happy with that. I need to keep the rocks pressure up on Toge. This is very important. So, he knows he needs to keep them away. He's going to go for the Defog straight off the bat, get rid of those rocks. I'm just going to go for a nice and powerful Thunder Punch. This time it does 45%, so he's below half, which is good. This is nice, always nice to keep that thing as low as possible. Here, Toge is going to make the play. He knows that the rocks are coming his way, so he's going to take this opportunity to get into his Gyarados for free, which is a good play on his part. Now I go for rocks, and he can basically just set up in my face here because I'm at lowered attack, and once he Megas, he's not quad weak to electric anymore. So I'm going to go into my Staraptor, take the initiative to get an Intimidate off on him and hopefully take a hit. I do have a bit of HP investment, I think. So he's going to Mega up, and what he's going to do is he's going to go for a Dragon Dance, which is fairly spooky, but he's at +1 speed and neutral attack after the Intimidate. Now I do outspeed because I'm Scarfed. I'm going to go for Double Edge, get some nice damage on him, and this Gyarados is going to go for another Dragon Dance, and this is fairly spooky. And I'm like, I don't have anything that wants to take 2 hits from this. I only have one thing that can stand up to it, so I'm going to let Staraptor go down and trust that I can get around hazards with his Skarm at such low health. Now I'm going to get it into P2. +1 Mega Gyarados Crunch, and we eat it again. Delicious. And I'm going to go for a Thunder Wave and basically triple this guy. P2 is just a monster. So here I'm going to go for the Recover, as Toge shows another one of his Pokemon to have Taunt. So I'm taunted, but I'm okay with it. I'm back up to a really nice range of health with P2. So Toge, he is going to switch on out of dodge. Knowing the Thunderbolt's coming, he's going to get a free switch into his Thunderous Sphearing, which was a good play on his part. I couldn't mess around with the Gyarados. He gets the Volt Absorb, he's back to health. Now, I can take a hit from this guy. He goes for Nasty Plot, which is fairly scary, but I do stay in. I do go for the Ice Beam, and that gets massive damage on this guy. But now I have to switch out. I can't stay with P2, I need P2. So, I'm going to make a sack play here. I'm going to go into my Kecleon. And this is a +2 Focus Blast from Thundurus, and I'm 17 different kinds of dead. But that's okay, Kecleon's done its job here. I trust the rest of my team to be able to deal with Skarmory and stop it defogging. What I can do is go into Heliolisk. I know I outspeed, but I want to go for the Hyper Voice, not the Hidden Power Ice, in case he goes into something to take it. And he has a Charlin Berry, which is nice, knowing that I would choose Hyper Voice over Hidden Power Ice with Heliolisk. Great prep on Toge's part, but he was at just too low health to make it count. But now his resistances or immunities to Electric are gone completely. So, I need Heliolisk, and I don't need Diggersby. So I'm going to go into Diggersby, I'm going to take the Focus Blast, I'm going to sack it off. I don't have Quick Attack, you know, as I say, I'm an Agility set. But I'm okay with it. I'm perfectly happy to let Diggersby go down here, I don't need it. So he's going to go for a U-turn, which is fine. He's going to U-turn on out of there. And he knows what I'm going to do, so what Toge is going to do, he's going to go into his least needed Pokemon. That's going to be, of course, the Mega Gyarados. It's paralysed, it's at a third of its health, it's not going to live any hit. I'm going to go to Heliolisk, and my play here is just to start dropping T-Bolts. Just drop them everywhere. Drop them everywhere. Down goes Gyarados, and now in comes the Yanmega, and I'm thinking he has to bank on the double Protect, because I'm Scarfed. He doesn't know that, I don't think. So he's going to go for Protect first turn, of course he is. And I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt. He's protected, but of course, I am EV'd to outspeed this thing at +1. So I'm fine, I'm grand. I'm going to drop a T-Bolt, he goes for Endure, which I thought would fail with Protect, but it doesn't. He goes to Endure, I go for the Thunderbolt, and I'm going to go over... I thought he'd done this just to outspeed me. I'll go over at the end of the game what happened. He goes for Bug Buzz. I can tank it because, you know, decent natural special bulk. He's going to go down to his Life Orb, and, you know, the Thunderbolt is not going to land, obviously. But this is pretty much the end game. I have Rocks up. This Torn, as we've already seen, is not Assault Vest, so I'm just going to be able to drop a Thunderbolt. Down is going to go the Tornadus, and now all he has left is that Skarmory. We already saw its Wackenberry get broken earlier on, and Heliolisk is going to drop the final Thunderbolt, finally coming through with a whole bunch of KOs. Well played, Heliolisk. Down goes Skarmory, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the game. So yeah, we take a 2-0 victory. Heliolisk putting in a nice amount of work. It's been pretty quiet this season. This is only the second game it's come to, and it takes its kill ratio from 1-1 to, I believe now, 5-1. I thought it was 6-1, but Yanmega of course went down to Life Orb. Now, what's interesting about that particular segment with the Yanmega, what I said I was going to come back to, Toge actually had the wrong item on it. He wanted that to be his second weakness policy user. As you saw, he had Life Orb, but if he'd had that weakness policy, I'd have gone for Thunderbolt, he'd have lived, he then outspeeds me, he'd have easily taken me out at +2 with the Bug Buzz, and then it would have just come down to whether or not P2 could do it, and I was physically defensive, so it is dubious at best as to whether P2 would have lived that hit. So that's unfortunate for Toge, and it was very unfortunate because he played the rest of the game very well indeed. You know, scouting out my Mega-Audino, knowing the moves I was going to go for, popping his weakness policy when he could with Dragonite, taking the opportunity with his Thundurus to get the Volt Absorb, the really awesome Chilenberry set, knowing I guess that I would choose Hyper Voice over Hidden Power Ice because it would be more powerful in the long run against most of his other mons. That was really cool. I liked that a lot. Some really nice sets, a lot of taunt. He was prepared for my P2. Unfortunately, I don't think he was quite prepared enough for the amount of bulk P2 has because it's just gross. But yeah, end of the day, we do take a 2-0 win, and what that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that we are into the final. We're into the final of the PIC tournament. Now, you're going to probably hear a little bit of clicking right about now as I try and look and see exactly who I could be playing in that final. I just want to make sure I know all the names, basically. You might have seen a little hint of the screen come up there. But we'll see. A little bit of clicking. We're very professional here, I can assure you. a lot of the games leading up to the final haven't been played as yet. We've still got a quarterfinal and the subsequent semi-final match to go. Now, the quarterfinal that's still to go, that is Travesty versus Kyle K to the 2. That is, Travesty is the Carolina Carstorms, that is fighting type, and the Harlem Gloomtrotters, which is Kyle, that's poison. Now, I have a vested interest in this game because I don't want to face fighting. You know, I've escaped facing the one thing that's super effective against my typing thus far. I don't want to have to face off against it. Now, of course, the winner of that game then has to go on to their own semi-final, where they will play against one of the scariest draft format players around at the moment. That is, of course, George, Septile MC, who has probably also managed to bag himself the best typing for a Monotype League, that being Water. So, in the final, we will either face Fighting, Poison, or Water. I don't really know who I want to face most out of them. I know who I want to face least out of them, which is obviously Fighting. Fighting versus Poison is an interesting matchup in Poison's favour, so that's going to be intriguing to see. It's going to be intriguing to see how it all pans out, but we're going to have a little bit more time until that final match, because as we say, we've got 2 more games to go until then. But, you know, when it happens, and I'll upload it when it does. But yeah, we're in the final. That's what matters. We managed to get a good amount of luck in this game, which, you know, having seen my PPL Week 2 game, I was happy to get a bit of luck, finally. So yeah, into the final. Grand stuff. As I say, that'll come up whenever it happens, which is going to be just sometime in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it from this video. I've rambled on for long enough, so thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Remember to head down to the description, make sure you check out those links to Togevoir. He is a great person, as I say, nice content. He does a lot of organisational stuff within the community and various tournaments and such like with the token minorities. I know he's involved in that in an organisational role, so he does a lot within that, so do make sure you go and check him out. You're doing yourself a favour. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to get out of here, so my final thank you to you all for watching, and yes, with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.